Hi everybody, welcome to 30 Days with Jake. I'm Jake and this is my cigarette-free challenge. If you enjoy these videos, please hit that like button. Share, comment down below. Tell me what's up, tell me how your day's going. Tell me what you'd like me to address in a future video. And any ideas you may have, anything you'd like to see done differently, please put that down below. And subscribe if you haven't already so you can be notified every time I upload a video. So today is day number 24, right? And the cigarette of the day is Neighbor. So, a couple things. As I was designing the cigarette, I couldn't stop thinking about Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Won't you be my neighbor? And that had such an influence on me growing up, you know, as a kid, watching his show. And then later on, you know, I have yet to get to the documentary. I have yet to get to the movie that was made. I believe it's titled, Won't You Be My Neighbor? I apologize if that's not the title. And, you know, seeing videos on him and having fought for the education of children, you know, it's very inspiring, it's very admirable. So yeah, the original idea that I had for the cigarette was, last night I kept thinking about what had happened a couple days ago. I was on my way into a Subway for lunch, and there was this guy that caught my attention. He walked by and he greeted me. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" You know, and he didn't ask me for anything. He mentioned that he was on his way to look for cigarettes, or he didn't have any, or I don't know, something happened, right? And you know, I felt for him, and you know, and I had a pack that I had bought a couple, you know, like about a week and a half ago. I want to say maybe a week and a half ago. Although I have been cigarette free for now almost 9 days, I think. And I haven't been on the patch, you know, for about 5-6 days. So yeah, and you know, he mentioned this to me, and I had this pack with a bunch of the cigarettes. You know, I still had quite a few, and you know, me doing the cigarette of the day, you know, I needed about 8 more cigarettes to design. So I told him, hey, you know, I could see the desperation, you know, and I was like, I've got some cigarettes if you would want them. You know, I'm not going to use them. So I took out the 8 and I gave him probably 6 or 7 that were in the pack that were left. And he was super friendly, super cool. And yeah, it just got me thinking, you know, how are we supposed to feel about that? Because I mean, here I am trying to quit, right? And you know, who am I to judge who can or can't use cigarettes? Or, you know, I mean, I just quit. So I mean, would that make me a hypocrite? And if I were to pass on these cigarettes instead of throw them away, you know, what kind of person does that make me? And so I'm reminded of, you know, this widely known verse, and it's love thy neighbor as thyself, right? And there's also, you know, the golden rule, do unto others what you would want done unto you. But you know what, I like the neighbor one because it's more personal. And even though there's you know, the stigmas, there's the stereotypes, you know, it's like, oh, my neighbor, you know, my nosy neighbor, right? You know, you got the neighborhood watch, you got, you know, you got safe neighborhoods, and you have, you know, dangerous ones, you know. But for the most part, you know, neighbor has a sort of, you're not strangers, you know, or you shouldn't be. You know, you see each other every single day. You wake up, you walk out that door, and no, depending on what neighborhood you live in, depending on what activities your neighbors do, you know, neighbors, to me, it should be it should be a really personal thing. It should be yeah, you know, whenever people think of love thy neighbor as thyself, you know, including myself growing up, you know, I thought, you know, hey, you know, it's like I gotta love them as if, you know, it were me. And what do I love? So what do I see as good? You know, I gotta give them the things that I like, the things that I love, because I gotta love them like I love myself. And you know what? It's crazy because, you know, a few years ago is when I had, you know, realized that actually means, you know, how I love myself, how I see myself, you know, and how I want the best things for myself, to want that for other people, you know, but how they see themselves, how they love themselves, right? What they want for themselves. You know, even though I could have used that opportunity to talk to him about, you know, the dangers of cigarettes and how that's affected me, I really felt in the moment, and, you know, and he felt that he needed, you know, the cigarettes to get on with his day, to make him feel better, to make him feel like he has something to escape with, you know. And yeah, it's definitely something to think about and become aware of in how we interact with the people around us, you know. But I like that word neighbor, neighborly. And yeah, it's just a short, you know, it's a story I thought I'd share. And speaking of the patch, you know, I have been off for about, when was it? Was it Saturday? Was the last day, or Friday? Friday night? Saturday. Was it Saturday? Or was it Friday? I don't remember. Saturday? Anyway, you know, I remember, like I said, the patch works. The patch works. If you haven't seen a previous video when I started using the patch as kind of like a last resort, I didn't feel any urges, and I have it right here. This is my last patch, and I'm pretty sure that I won't have any need for it. And it is kind of scary because you know, when I quit the cigarettes, right, I started using the patch. I think I was 2 or 3 days in, and I didn't use a patch for a day because I was with my girlfriend, and, you know, she's kind of my patch, you know. And I did kind of go into it about, you know, me being aware of who I smoke around, you know. And it's different for everybody, you know. There are some that can smoke around anybody, you know. And there are some that don't smoke in front of anybody because they don't want anybody to know, you know. And both sides are understandable, you know. But the thing was, I went a day without a patch, and then I put a patch on that following day, and oh my God, it was so strong. It was so strong. So it just depends on you, on how badly you want to give it up, if you're trying to give up cigarettes. And be aware that you have step 1 with 21 milligrams, step 2 with 14 milligrams, and step 3 with 7. So they recommend you go through each step, I think 6 weeks. You know, and it says here, if you smoke more than 10 cigarettes per day, start with step 1. If you smoke 10 or less cigarettes per day, start with step 2. And then I forget where it says, I think it's 6 weeks. You know, it's 6 weeks with each step is what they recommend before transitioning to the next step. Again, you know, with me, I was only on the patch for 3 days. And look at me, you know. I will say, though, the last couple of days I've had some urges, And I'm so sad. I'm so sad because I look around me and I see people who are smoking cigarettes, and I'm like, oh my, oh, it's so inviting, you know. I look to them, and it's just, it's something that I can look back on, and you know, feel pleasure from, because, like I mentioned in one of the earlier videos, you know, it was a way for me to connect in a way that I've never been able to before with anybody, you know, because of how I used to be, because of my personality and how I'm mostly an introvert, you know, believe it or not. You know, it does take a lot of energy for me to meet new people, and I mean, it's such a scary thing, you know, not even just being in front of large crowds, publicly speaking, but, you know, in slightly bigger groups than groups of two, you know, and people I don't know. You know, it takes me a while to warm up, but once I do, those of you who know me, you know, I get pretty crazy. I get pretty lit, you know. So, yeah, just be aware. Again, the patch, I did use the Equate brand. Like I mentioned before, I gave a little quick review. It does kind of come off easily when you first apply it. You know, you got to be aware. It tries to start, you know, it peels up. There's this excretion of liquid. You know, I'm not sure if it comes from the patch. I should have done my research. I'm sorry. But be aware that it does kind of slip and peel. You know, so, you know, like I would do is I'd blow air onto that wet area, and it's supposed to already be dry. You know, before you apply the patch, you clean it, you dry it, and you apply it. But yeah, no, after a few hours, it stays on. You know, you have to really peel it for it to come off. So yeah, I have one. I don't know what to do with it. So yeah, I'm excited, and I wanted to work out today, but I woke up late. I am sorry, you know, that's my bad, that's my fault. I'm apologizing to myself, you know, but also those who, you know, are looking for encouragement. I just woke up like 30 minutes ago, and actually no longer than that, because it does take me some time to design these cigarettes of the day. But yeah, no, I'm gonna start working out. I'm gonna start changing my life, you know, adding different things into it. But I'm excited, I'm motivated, I'm inspired, you know. And for those of you that are looking for inspiration, those of you who are looking to be motivated, you know, what's helped me is looking at motivational videos on YouTube, you know, seeing people, you know, with the music. Again, in the last video, it's one of my motivations, and it definitely does put you in the mood. You know, and depending on the videos you watch and whoever's speaking, you know, Les Brown, I love Les Brown. I love listening to Les Brown. I love watching videos where they include audio clips of him speaking. You have TD Jakes. You know, there's so many I watch. I should have written a list down. But yeah, no, if you're looking to change your life, you know, start reading success books. Start reading Gary Vaynerchuk, Tony Robbins. Build up your collection. Go out there and look at reviews on different books, and maybe, you know, maybe I'll give a review on the books I like, on the books that have changed my life, you know, that have given me tools to use to better my situation, to better my life, my mentality, my being, you know. But yeah, no, challenge yourself mentally, spiritually, physically every single morning, because that's gonna move you through the day. That's gonna push you through the day. That's gonna give you the energy required to get through the day. If you wake up and you go boom, straight to work, straight to school, you know, you don't have time to kind of reflect. You don't have time to kind of, you know, take a moment to breathe, to I want to say recharge, because that's why you're resting, that's why you're sleeping, you know, is to recharge and to recover from the previous day. But you know, you wake up and you set your mind right, you know. If you want to do it the night before and set out your priorities and set out, you know, what you plan on doing with your day, You know, I think it's great for every one of us to not only plan long-term, short-term, but to also be, what's the word I'm looking for? Be spontaneous, you know, to also be in the moment, present with those around us and with, you know, the people around us and the things that we are around, you know, be present, which is why I also recommend acting, because that's all about presence. So thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and share it. Comment down below, tell me what you liked about this, tell me what you didn't like, tell me what I should do differently, tell me what you'd like me to address in a future video, what you'd like me to talk about, what you'd like me to start a discussion on, you know, to bring to light, that has to do with addiction, that has to do with habits that we are trying to change or trying to get rid of or trying to add, trying to gain in our life to our daily schedule, our daily routine. Subscribe also if you haven't already, so you can be notified every time I upload a video. I'm here, I'm waiting, I'm ready. I'll see you tomorrow.